Hello everyone and welcome back to the Dragon's Library. It's been like 2 weeks, but I'm all back and it's time to wrap up 2023. I know it's like whenever this comes out, like nearly 2 weeks after my last video. I've been busy with the holidays and other stuff, but that's not important because we're going to start a series of 4 little videos that I'd like to do these last year or two when I've been doing these videos, where I go over my favorite games, movies, books, and TV shows that came out in 2023. Now, usually I'd stick to things I just reviewed. However, video games, I didn't have a ton of time. Baldur's Gate 3 has eaten up a lot of my time this year. I keep going back to it. And as a result, I have 3 video games that I did not get to review yet. I will be releasing reviews for them eventually, hopefully, even if they're shorts. But I did not get a chance to actually go over them. So let's go ahead and give some honorable mentions to Alan Wake 2. It was an excellent horror game, survival horror, with an interesting plot that had me constantly guessing about which characters were real or what was going on. And it was actually a very engaging plot for me on a personal level. I just really enjoyed it. Thought it was a lot of fun. So props to that game. It definitely deserved to win best story. I think it won at the VGAs. I can't be bothered to check that. Next up, we have Chance of Sonar. It was one of the most interesting puzzle games I've played in years. A Tower of Babel inspired story. It's a point-and-click adventure game with an isometric style graphics. And the whole thing is that you are ascending this tower with various different cultures and different languages, and you have to use context clues to figure out what the languages mean in order to solve puzzles and progress. As the story goes on, you then have to use your knowledge of the 2 languages to communicate between different groups, and eventually de-escalate the tensions rising within the tower itself. I haven't quite finished this one yet. I'm actually midway through my playthrough, nearing the end. I just got to the Alchemists. And it's a very interesting game, really cool premise. Like, seriously, it's just fascinating. There are some minor problems with the executions, and I'll probably talk about those. But for the most part, it's a really cool idea, and I haven't seen anyone do anything like this since, I guess, maybe Tunic, but I didn't get a chance to really play that much. I only saw people playing it. So props to the people who made this game. Chance of Sonar, if you like puzzle games or weird, interesting gameplay, this is definitely one. I don't think I've ever seen a game where you have to figure out fictional languages as the core mechanic. Awesome idea. Finally, to round up these 3 honorable mentions, we have Stray Gods. This is an interesting one. So it's a visual novel, and I don't usually play visual novels. I played one that a friend said because I started playing a game with a dragon in it, and that was Angels with Scaly Wings. But visual novels usually are my cup of tea. I'm also not a huge musical person, aside from Disney movies, but this was an exception in multiple ways. The whole point of Stray Gods is that the Greek muse Calliope gets murdered in an urban fantasy setting, and turns out whenever a god dies, their power, possesses a new mortal, and eventually they unlock memories of past lives, such and such. So this random girl, Grace, is there when Calliope is murdered, and she gets the power passed on to her, and now Grace is being told that she's being blamed for the murder, and that they're going to kill her unless she can prove her innocence in 7 days. So she has to go exploring and trying to use the power of music to literally convince people to side with her. It's really cool, and the idea behind it is that as you do the conversations and dialogue, you'll get QTE style, choose one of 3 choices that'll let you not only change the outcome of the plot, but also change the beat and rhythm and tone of the song that the characters are singing during the musical. It was actually executed very interestingly, and I'd highly recommend it to anybody who thinks that sounds interesting. In addition, it did the one thing that every single game that's based on mythology needs to do. See, I love mythology, but I know a lot of it. The thing you gotta do is that you gotta make me say, huh, I didn't know that. This one, I didn't know the Minotaur's name was Asterion. Alright, so with those out of the way, let's get into my favorites of the year. So starting off the year, we had Hi-Fi Rush. That game was amazing. I played it back in, I think, March and April. Fantastic game, awesome graphics, cool, killer soundtrack. Seriously, we had so many musical games between that and Stray Gods. Music was a huge theme this year, and quite frankly, it was amazing. Following up that, we had something on the spooky side with Dredge and Killer Frequency. Both of these were really fun for me personally. I think they were some of... Killer Frequency is a game I didn't see a lot of other people playing. It's basically you're in a 90s horror movie and you're in a DJ studio and people are calling you for help because all the phone lines have been cut and you're basically the only person they have to contact. So you have to use whatever resources you can find around there to try and guide them safely through what is essentially a horror movie. It's a really fun game with a really cool premise, nice soundtrack. I liked it. Dredge is a different kind of horror, very Lovecraftian. That game, you're basically a fisherman out in this mysterious sea with, Lovecraft-style monsters and some kind of obscure cult. It has this very creepy ambience and a cool gameplay loop of just fishing things up. It's a pretty simple game, there's not a lot to say, but I really enjoyed it. Honestly, I liked it way more than Dave the Diver. I was just kind of okay on Dave the Diver. I wasn't like... A lot of people loved it, I was just like, it's fine, it's whatever. And of course, finally, there's the game that everyone's been probably thinking he's going to be talking about this soon. Baldur's Gate 3. What more is even to be said about this game? I mean, it won Game of the Year, obviously. Look, people who are asking about Siren 2. Siren 2 was fine. It was okay. I actually liked the first one more. Obviously because the first one didn't have an annoying thing where you swipe down the trackpad on the PS5 controller, it would bring up the camera to, do the camera side quests. Turns out, your fingers might accidentally brush that while you're playing in frantic gameplay and have it all the time while swinging. It's really annoying. But there were little frustrations like that, and honestly, the game just wasn't as much fun as Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is such a good game. I have replayed it at least 3 times now, and I'm actually doing a multiplayer playthrough with my friends because I just have so much fun finding cool new things in this game. I did not play Larian Studios' other RPGs, and I am regretting that. I need to go play Divinity and Divinity 2. I'll probably set aside a stream if I have time this coming year. But yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 was easily the best thing I've ever played this year, and quite frankly, it is one of the best RPGs I've ever played, and I cannot wait to see what Larian Studios goes next. Maybe they'll do a DLC. Maybe. Oh, gods, it'd be so good. So, yeah. Keep an eye out for the best books, movies, and shows coming up soon. But now we move to the end card. There's a video YouTube recommends and a playlist of everything I did in 2023. So if you want to watch all the movies, shows, books, and all the reviews, it's all there. And I will see you all next time. Bye!